And now to an update out of Los Angeles. Lawyers for the driver who hit a group of sheriff's cadets still say the crash was not intentional. 25 cadets were hit, 5 suffered critical injuries. 3 of them remain in critical condition as of our last update. Lawyers for 22-year-old Nicholas Gutierrez say he fell asleep at the wheel while on his way to work. They say he passed the sobriety test and no drugs were in his system. But the sheriff told News Nation, investigators believe Gutierrez intentionally struck those recruits. So now we're going to bring in legal analyst Rachel Fiset. Rachel, thank you so much for being with us. The suspect is saying he fell asleep. How difficult will this be to prove in court?
Well, I think he is not charged at the moment. So the charges at this moment have been dismissed. And if he is charged again, then the prosecutors will have to show what he was doing was intentional, which will mean that he was either awake or heavily under the influence. And what Gutierrez will show as his defense is that I believe he will say what he has said yesterday, which is that he was asleep. He fell asleep on his way to the job. This was very early in the morning, and without drugs in his system and without staying awake all night, he fell asleep. So they are very much painting this as an incredibly unfortunate accident.
And Rachel, as you said, he is currently not charged. We know that he was arrested, taken into custody. He was then released. So what do you make of the fact that he gave an interview to a television station there locally about what happened?
I think that he's trying to have his name cleared. It's always a risky move to give a television interview when you are under investigation. So with his lawyer sitting there, he gave this interview to tell his side of the story. And he, I think, is seeing this play out in the news, in the media. Hitting that many cadets is catastrophic. And I believe that, he's suffering a lot of backlash. So he was really trying to get his side of the story out into the public view, which is a risky move under these circumstances. But if it was simply that he did just fall asleep, I think he is also trying to close the investigation.
Well, Rachel, speaking of television interviews, the LA County Sheriff told me last week the evidence shows it was intentional. Let's listen to what he said.
They went through an exhaustive interview process with everyone involved, with the video surveillance, statements from the recruits, the physical evidence they had, and what they got from the suspect himself. And they were able to form the opinion that this was a deliberate act.
All right. So why is Gutierrez not back in custody? Is all that evidence falling through? Did the sheriff maybe speak too soon?
There's a chance the sheriff spoke too soon, or that the evidence really did not bear that out. I think the sheriff, understandably, is looking for a reason that this happened, and it's hard to believe that such a horrific incident was not intentional. So what the eyewitness accounts were and what the evidence that they had at that time, they thought they had probable cause to arrest, and they must have gone back through it, gotten more evidence, and realized that they don't at this time.
All right. Rachel Fiset, thank you for your time.